Man, what's up with it, man? Y'all already know what it is. It's that good Tuesday, man. That EME Tuesday, man. Yeah, good energy, good vibing, man. We've been vibing all week, working hard, man. Handling our business, you know what I'm saying? These top dogs right here at this table, man, doing the right thing. You feel me? You can catch the footage on this, man. They're doing the right thing. We there. At events, man, we done did pretty good this week, man. We had a good little event this weekend and everything we went to, you know what I'm saying? And today really a special day, man. We got some good people, man. The show today, man, about some good people we love, man, that we care deeply about, you know what I'm saying?
Very.
Both of these guys, man, are black entrepreneurs, man, that you can look up to, that I look up to, both of them, you know what I'm saying? And, man, I appreciate the good work both of them guys doing, man. And one of my brothers, man, that's King Caleb.
Thank you, sir. Thank
you.
Thank you.
EME. And then my oldest brother, man, Mr. Davis, man.
Ed Davis.
Yeah.
Aren't you the director of the Derek Olivier Research Institute?
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that, sir?
Yes, sir. First and foremost, I want to thank God for blessing me to be here amongst you guys, you leaders, you doers, you family men, you leaders and role models. To answer your question, Charlie Mack, yes, I'm the director of the Derek Olivier Research Institute for the Prevention of Gun Violence. It's been around for a couple of years now, and we've been making some headway, some noise into this sin nature we call homicide. And for those who are just now watching this awesome show, the number one killer for African-American males ages 1 through 44, it's not cancer, it's not accidents, it's homicide. And out of that 8,000 who died last year violently, 100% of those that were killed were by other African-American males, which is embarrassing.
Yes.
But we have to tell the truth. We can't tell a lie in this case, or any case, rather, but definitely the Dory program. Now, let me go ahead and scratch that. The Dory Institute, okay, because for those who were just now watching, we are a research institute. We empower programs with data for them to make the best practice decisions moving forward. And so, of course, we've been around since 2020 for the most part. And Dory, I have to go ahead and say this also, Charles Benson, Dory wouldn't be where it is today had it been for EME. You know, you guys have been behind the scenes, sometimes in front, sometimes next to us, sometimes behind us. But you've been there the whole time, helping us out along the way. And so it takes teamwork to make the dream work. We know that's a cliche, but that's true in this case. You know, when you think about what happened in the 1930s and 40s, before Wi-Fi, before a lot of different factions were in place for people to be successful, African Americans lived in poverty just much as some live in today. But it was a whole lot worse back then, but we didn't have that homicidal element as it is today.
Right.
So, of course, we can't just blame the extreme homicides that are taking place right now in 2022 on poverty, okay? So, of course, we have to go back to having that unity being first and foremost in our family. Unity is the key for success in any endeavor that you do. There needs to be a platform of an agreement, an association, a working contract per se with what you do. And so, of course, our dads did that back then. Right. Our mothers did that back then. And so, of course, we have to pick up that mantle, and that's what EME is doing. That's what the Derek Olivier Research Institute at ABC is doing, and in one sense, ABC is doing it as well, because of us. Most of us here are products from ABC in some shape, form, or fashion.
We are,
whether we're professors or students. Exactly.
ABC, man.
Got to give a shout out to
college, y'all.
1600 Dr. MLK Jr. Drive in downtown Little Rock's historic Dunbar neighborhood. We have to pay homage to that. But moving forward again with Dory is pretty much a spark in a dark place. And we all know God doesn't make mistakes. We do all the time. And so by him placing Dory, and I want to give a shout out to Mama Alma Olivier and also Joseph Olivier.
Derek Olivier.
Derek Olivier's
give him
folks.
A shout out.
Parents.
Of course, Felicia, sister, and also his brother Antoine. And, of course, there are a number of people who lost their lives since Derek has lost his.
Right.
And, of course, even beforehand, with baby Kamaya, who lost her life. And so we want to give a shout out to her family, of course, her dad right here.
Right.
And, you know, we still love him and we appreciate what he's doing, not just here in Little Rock, but in Central Arkansas. So Dory has pretty much been that catalyst about change, and we're using data to drive the next move for other institutions, whether it's ABC, Philander, Schroeder College, whether it's the Boys and Girls Club. We want to help empower, equip organizations with this data to help them make better decisions moving forward. And, of course, it starts in the heart, because we all know we don't have a crime problem. We have a heart problem. And that heart problem comes with us making immature decisions based on our feelings, our emotions. And I have to look in the mirror and assess myself before I can walk out the house and say, let me make sure my spirit is in check.
Yes, sir.
You know, because people will say some crazy things, and we have to do what Sean Carter, a.k.a. Jay-Z, did, shake them haters off.
Shake them off.
You got to do that and put a smile on your face and bless people with a smile.
Right.
And so what Dory is doing is blessing people with data, with information. And so that's our strength now. It's been all about awareness in 2020 and 2021, now 2022. We're trying to make that adjustment from data and awareness. Well, data is always going to be at the forefront, but not just with awareness, but with being agents of change with that data to take that next step moving forward. And I think it's time. We don't want to get ahead of God, though, because we have to make sure we're listening to the Holy Spirit and move when he say move, not when we want to move. A lot of times that's where I made mistakes at, moving when I want to move, when I think it's right, not listening to my elders, not listening to my team, my unit. And, of course, again, getting back to what I said about EME, it doesn't go far without the brilliant minds of our street team, the brilliant minds of our dads, of our husbands, the brilliant minds of our leaders out in the field. Right. And so, of course, not just with y'all, but others that are not at this table. There's a lot of people behind the scenes making things happen for our benefit, for the community's benefit. And we have to give them the honor and the respect, and that's what it's about, sharing that appreciation all the way across the board. And so, again, I thank you all for doing that with this program here. This is awesome. This is that gem. This is that sparkling diamond in the rough with this program you have here. So, again, if I never said it before on live TV, I love you guys. I appreciate what you're doing. And it takes us all to make this move forward. Right. And so, of course, again, we have to get behind the Lord and march forward. We're not going to fear of nothing, but we're going to pray for everything. Right. And keep our smiles going. And when those storms come, because they will come. Yeah. Right. When they come, that's okay. God's got the umbrella ready for us. Yes, sir. We just don't see it. And so, but Dory has been that umbrella to a lot of grieving mothers, a lot of grieving families, a lot of grieving fathers, a lot of people who are just quiet when they should be talking about what's going on. We all know we have these cliches where it says a closed mouth what?
Don't get fed.
But of course we know some people know if they say something that may cost them their lives. So we understand that. Yes. We don't always necessarily agree with it, but we do understand it. And sometimes we do agree, but not all the time. It's a case by case basis, So we have to make sure that they know that they're safe, that they're comforted, and it has to be important that, we provide a blanket of security in a healthy essence, a blanket or a safety net for people, whether it's that single parent mom, whether it's that dad that just, received an increase in pay and he doesn't want to, definitely mess that up. And for these struggling families, we want to be that hope that spark that light. And so, again, Dory is young. Of course, EME is young, but together with other institutes, whether it's the FBI and working with law enforcement in various capacities, I tell people, it's you got some bad cops out there, but you got some good ones too. Right. You got some good folks that don't look like me. Then you got some bad folks that look like me. Right. So we have to be honest about that moving forward, and we can't judge a book by its cover.
That's something we learning though. We got to learn with that and grow with that, especially with cops in the community. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of. They had a bad vibe with each other.
Oh, yeah,
bad
definitely.
stigma, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
That's why I like the OK program, because them guys, they really is cops, you know what I'm saying? But we know them as people. So it's hard for us to look at them as, man, they cops when you know somebody personally. You know what I'm saying? That came on my next question. Like,
shout out to Willie Davis, too.
The OK program. We love them.
We know you know the data, you know everything, but, man, we here. This is EME, man. This the EME show. Yeah. We want to know something about Ed. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this for you? What it is? What the work that you doing? Everything that you putting into the hard sweat and tears, without, you know what I'm saying? Because we know you do this from the heart. You know what I'm saying? There's no money, none of that. You doing this from the heart. What drive you? What is this for you? What it mean to you to be doing this?
What drives me? It's intrinsic. By that I mean, it doesn't take a lot to get me motivated. Some people, it takes a lot to get them motivated, but it's a God thing, and I mean that with all sincerity, because it's something that he put inside of me that when I see something that's not right, in alignment with God first and foremost, I have to try to find a way. Not every single thing, because sometimes it's like, okay, choose your battles, So again, we have to be, sensitive to that, and I believe that it's a calling right now until God gives me another chapter or another assignment my assignment right now is to help slow down the bleeding in these streets. Right now it's in Little Rock. It's all over the country.
Yes.
Okay? We can't change the world right now. Our job is not to change the world, it's to change what's on the block.
Right.
Let's take care of our own blocks first, in our own households. You know, because again, we have this big agenda, but sometimes we have to, again, go back and look in the mirror and inspect ourselves and inspect our own inventory and say, okay, do I have a hidden agenda?
Right.
Make sure, God, please check me to make sure I don't have no hidden agendas with these guys or with anybody. Because sometimes, you know, we tend to do that. And so, again, to answer your question, Antoine, what drives me is it's intrinsic. It's a God-given gift, ability that I can't take credit for nothing. He's given it to me, and I give the glory back to him. You know, I just try to stay on my knees and just be thankful. But at the same time, I don't like seeing the news, and the news I guess it's a double-edged sword. They do a good job and a bad job of showing African-American males in the most negative way.
Yes.
Every time they show us, it's about sports or entertainment. Of course,
or worse than that.
Exactly, or worse,
Killing
or killing. You know, so it gives a lot of young people with no fathers at home. And a shout out to those single parent moms who've been holding it down for the last 7 years. They've been holding it down, and they've been doing the right thing. The most smartest, educated groups of people in this country, by degree merit, are African American women.
I believe.
You know, that's the truth.
I know it.
And so look at what they're going through. They're the most disrespected too.
Right.
And some of the guys that have done it look like us.
Yes.
So we have to tell the truth and say, hey, y'all, let's make sure we get in alignment with our women, with our children, you know. And getting back to your question again, Turtle, what drives me is seeing how we can have that glass half full rather than half empty. I try to look at 98% of all African-American males in this country are doing what y'all are doing, what we're doing, some positive things. But that 2%, and it's real heavy, bro, that 2% is responsible for almost 50% of the homicides. It's treacherous, and the devil's playing us in a lot of different areas. And so we have to be mindful of his devices and how he uses them, whether it's the husband against the wife, or the son against the dad. And he's going to find these vices and try to pull us apart.
Right.
That's why it goes back to that key word, #unity. It goes back to everything. We don't always have to agree with each other, but you can disagree and have unity at the same time.
Right.
You know, so we have to make sure that exactly.
That's what we preach. That's one of our mottos. Unity with every side.
Every side, you know. And if I have a disagreement with Mrs. Davis, I won't tell folks. I won't tell y'all about it. You know, it's going to be behind closed doors.
Exactly.
That's bedroom talk. Hey, baby, listen. You know what happened there? So again, it just brings hardship to the enemy. You know, I like ticking off the devil. I love ticking him off, you know. And so, of course, a lot of times that's not following my lead, that's following God's lead. So kind of putting things in perspective from a spiritual standpoint, but also a financial standpoint as well, also a academic standpoint as well, also a societal standpoint as well. We have to have that balance. Everything goes back to it. Exactly. Everything has to have a balance. And so whether it's what you eat, if you work out or less, reading scripture, treating people the way you want to be treated, you know. And again, and I want to say this too before I exit stage left, you know, people always misconstrue this, but it seems real cliche to say this. I treat everybody the same. You can't treat everybody the same. As much as I used to say that for years and years, you know, you can't talk to a 55-year-old man the way you talk to a 15-year-old male. He's not a man, he's a male, you know.
Right.
So we have to be mindful of how we speak to each other. This guy did 24 years in the pen, and this guy did a year. That's a different conversation.
Sure.
So we have to be mindful of that, or tax brackets, you know. We have to be, you know, sensitive to that. And what Dory does from the homicide standpoint, and to our listeners, again, we appreciate y'all moving forward. What Dory does is that, you know, we don't focus on molestation. We don't, and these are serious issues, by the way, too. We're not discounting or discrediting that.
What goes on in the community.
Exactly.
Right.
There's a lot of crime that goes on, and and as leaders, we address that.
Right.
However, Dory's main focus is to stop the bleeding with homicides.
Right.
You know, and so that's our primary focus. And I want to give a shout out to you know, former President Fitzhill for taking the mantle and doing what he did as the catalyst for starting a few things. But in this case, we're talking about keeping his word with Derek Olivier's parents. Okay, so
shout out to Fitzhill.
Exactly.
Coach.
Shout out the coach. And you know, of course, we have to also mention our support systems behind it. You know, Charles has a family in Paris, France. You know, wife is holding it down 5,000 miles away. We give a shout out to her.
Shout out Stella.
Shout out to Antoine. We all know Turtle and his family, his support system that's in place here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Paul in the background behind me.
Yeah.
Of course, shout out to you and your awesome family. And Charlie Rock, we all have to make sure that we're not stroking each other's ego, but we're just bringing honor where honor is due.
We have to salute.
We have to do that. We have to
roses.
salute
We got
each
to
other.
give them roses while we're here.
Right.
Exactly, while we're here.
Yes.
And that boosts you up. It gives you a
does.
strength.
It
I
gives
like
me.
when people tell me when I do something bad or glorify when I do something good. Way better than when I do something wrong. You know what I'm saying? All our life, I always been getting praise for the wrong.
Wrong, yes.
Always.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just telling my brother, you know, today is a special day for me because I've been out 6 years today. Well, I got out 6 years ago. I got out of the Arkansas Department of Correction.
February
And when
22nd.
February 22nd.
Salute.
Salute.
Caleb.
When I came home today, wasn't expected, didn't tell her. I had like literally 10 balloons. I had a car, gifts, and all that. And my lady was just telling me how proud she is of me because she met me 6 years ago in the change. And it literally, she wasn't there. She was getting the kids, but I shedded tears because it felt like, wow, like for her to give me this to show her that she's proud of me. Like, we don't get that a lot. So to have that meant a lot.
Amen.
That meant a lot to have that support.
That's dope.
A support system.
You ain't had that bond money, did you? Where that bond money was at?
Man, I didn't need no bond when I got out of prison.
Man, that support system.
Dude, right here.
He funny, man.
Support
That was
system.
coming. There you go.
Support system.
Woo, woo.
Okay.
Yeah. But
We really appreciate you, Ed,
Right.
because you
Everything.
always come through. Even on social media, you give EME their props.
Right.
You make sure that people know that we do what we do out here,
Right.
because we like staying on the background. We like handling our business and helping other organizations. We like being in the background, providing and helping, and we don't hear that a lot. And we don't look for that either, but it feels good. You know, it feels good. Like Turtle was saying just a moment ago, we're used to being acknowledged for wrongdoing.
Wrong.
We're used to that. And
Right.
sometimes people accept that as that's who they are.
Right.
But when you
Right.
get that positive feedback on what you do, it can change your mindset too.
Yes, sir.
And it can empower you and make you stronger and push you to do better and do more
Right.
in your community. And that's what EME is doing. And thank you. Thank you so much for coming here and giving us our flowers, our roses.
man, yes,
We're
sir.
giving them
Yes,
to
sir.
you.
We always going to give them to
Right.
Ed.
You, man.
Ed, we didn't tell him how we know Ed, dude. He was
He's
a
teacher.
He was our professor at ABC. That's how we know this brother.
Yeah,
That
he
was what I
done
was
playing.
finna say.
He
I
done
was
playing a
finna
good
say, what
season.
you
A
do?
lot of people. I
Yeah,
know a lot
he
of guys
did.
that
Put a
know you,
lot in
and
there.
they love you, man.
He was my
They-
history.
Yes,
teacher.
sir.
He got me learning about
Appreciate
black
that.
males and what we created in art in America. I didn't
Right.
know all the stuff we.
Right.
This man was my history
Right.
teacher. We used to go back and forth arguing about stuff, and he was usually right, but I was always just argumentative.
Right.
And this man just was,
Right.
and he would respect. And we would talk, and that's how we got so close.
Yeah. Right.
Because I respected him back,
Right.
and I got more information. And he was the first person to give me my life coach, my first life coaching incident at
University of Phoenix.
University of Phoenix.
Yep.
Yeah, he did that, man, and he got my juices flowing on standing up and speaking in front of people and not being afraid or being nervous. He gave me that first platform to do that. So we go.
What's up?
It go
That
you
stuff
go
be
full
hard,
circle.
don't it? Stand in front of them
Man,
people.
it's nerve wracking, but I was prepared though.
You was
So I
prepared. You
I
did
was
it. You
looking
held
at
it
my
down.
stuff, asking, man.
You
I
held
was
it
up
down.
there. I was
I
on
was
point
loving it
because
and-
I was ready for the subject. I
I've been doing it for
researched
15 years, and sometimes I still get a jitter before I go up. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
I've spoken in front of
that's right.
6,000 people
Yeah.
before. But, sometimes you have to keep working out your craft. As the late, great Kobe would always be in practice after people left.
Yeah.
He would get
Right.
there early,
Right.
and that's working out that perfection,
He outworked them.
Exactly. You outwork people. It's not about that gift. It's about that drive. And that's important.
I mean, they do something to us too when we get up there. 'Cause when I first did it, I did it with Dr. Fitzhill and Paul Chapman. They pulled up on me in this little black van, man. I was like, man, I ain't getting it up. Man, they look like the feds. You know what I'm saying? I ain't getting it up. He's like, nah, man, I just want you to come speak, man. Just tell your story. Just be yourself. And then when I got up there and did it, I got so much positive feedback, and it felt good to
Mic drop.
sometimes talk to somebody. Because I used to talk, you know what I'm saying? I kind of was quiet and didn't nobody know me, you know what I'm saying? So that's probably why they had a bad stigma on me or something, like I was some kind of mean person or something like that, because I just didn't used to say nothing. But when I started to figure out to open it up and let the people, you know what I'm saying, let my people and everybody see who I really am in the heart, things started changing, you know what I'm saying? I started not worried about getting shot up no more. I started not worried about just doing wrong things. And I started seeing another world. So, you know, speaking, that opened the door. That was one of the most powerful tools God put in our life, you know what I'm saying? Even with my brother, when he started speaking and doing his motivational speaking and thing, I used to watch him and I was like, dang, he changed. And then I'm like, man, this dude really know the whole Bible, you know what I'm saying? He ain't even been locked up like me. I did 10 years. I know the Bible, you know, but him, you know what I'm saying? And he did. So, you know, that was admiration. So speaking is good. And if you got that, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's a good tool you can use or something to fight.
Right.